Frosty.
Frosty. Frosty. Frosty.
Hey guys, welcome to week 21 of Frosty Vlogs. I am really happy to be coming at you. Last week was actually a lot cooler than I thought it was going to be. The last few days, actually, I've just been spent hanging out with people, and it's been really cool. It started out on Thursday. I went over to a buddy's place, and we did some stuff. The first thing we did was we ran some Dungeons and Dragons fights because I'm interested in starting my first campaign. And so I wanted to, get a feel for what the fighting is like. And I also wanted to make sure that, I understood scaling. And I also wanted to implement a quicker pace to the fights. Because in the groups I'm in, people get distracted and they don't know what they're going to do. And it's like, I get wanting to think about stuff. But the thing is that this is a fight. And in a fight, you don't have minutes to prepare for your next move, And even when we discuss it, we talk about how there's only 6 seconds in a turn to do anything. So it's like, I feel like if I put a little bit more pressure on, let's move through this, let's get through this fight, it really can lead to mistakes, which might be upsetting, but the fact of the matter is, mistakes get made in fights, and that would make the story more interesting, is if you mess up, or if the monsters I'm controlling mess up, because I'm not necessarily doing perfect either when I'm running their stuff on my own, time bases. So we did that, and then we played, I think it's the House on Haunted Hill board game. A buddy of ours got the expansion to go with it, so we played that. Again, I've actually already played the expansion a couple times before, wound up as the trader both times, won both times. This time wasn't the trader, still won, so I'm doing pretty good on the new game stuff. The one thing that I think all of my friends agree on is that while it's a fun expansion, because we call it Spoop House. We love Spoop House. It's kind of leaning more towards comedy than horror, which isn't bad. I believe comedy exists within horror, but the thing is that at the core of this, it should still be trying to be a scary, difficult puzzle game, and it's now becoming just a huge joke. And it's like, I love Evil Dead: Dead by Dawn, but it's not my go-to horror movie when I want to feel something scary. You know what I mean? It's more like, oh, I want to watch something kind of silly with a dark atmosphere to it. So that's kind of where I think this expansion is done. And again, it's not horrible, and I've only played 3 of the possible scenarios, so obviously there's more to explore. I recognize that of the 3 we've gotten, they haven't been the same as what Spoop House was before the expansion. So the day after that, I actually went over to another buddy's place and had some beers with him, which is an experience for me that I'm kind of interested in trying out more. Not, heavy drinking, because I've never been that interested in it, but there's just this sort of thing that people share over a couple brewskis. You get to know people, you get to spend time. It's an inexpensive means of getting together with someone and just hanging out, and it's something to do while you're hanging out. Like, you're not necessarily worried, what are we gonna do next, because you got a 6-pack or a 12-pack or whatever of beer, and we're either gonna finish these or we're not. Save some for next time, whatever we want to do. And it was a pretty good time. A couple other friends showed up, and we watched Samurai Jack all night. It was fun. I also picked up my Microsoft Xbox. That's the original brand Xbox. I used to have one when I was a kid, so I wanted another one since I'm working on these Let's Plays. And I am. I swear to you, I am. It's just taking longer than I suspected it would. Anyway, I picked up that, and so when I got home, I was missing my power cable, and I thought, well, what the hell's going on here, right? Turns out, it had Houdini'd its way out of the bag with all the other cords and the controller I had, and wound up in my friend's car, who I was hanging out with, and so they were super cool, and they just ran it over the next day, which was another fun day because I got to go and hang out with some other friends. We went out for lunch and then grabbed McDonald's for dinner later. And we just hung out. We just spent time, played some Yu-Gi-Oh, which was a blast from the past for me. I also learned that I need to edit the hell out of my deck because I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist, where I built the same deck but better. And now that I know the differences between what I have in real life and what I have in the game, it's like I need to make some changes because I don't play it often, but when I play it, I want to do better. It also didn't help that I was up against a Cosmos deck because they send everything. Here's a Yu-Gi-Oh! Nerd moment alert. They send everything that would go to the graveyard to the deck, and that sucks for me because I run machines. And the big thing about my machines is that they break down and bring out other stuff. So they go out, they get sacrificed, they allow me to summon to the field or add things to my hand. My main card, Machina Fortress, if it's destroyed by battle, then I get to destroy something on the field. If it's destroyed by a monster card effect, I get to look at your hand and discard a card. So it's like, there's some cool stuff that I can do with these. But I don't get to use that when you don't let me send things to the graveyard. And it's super uncool, man. And then, last night, I watched the new episode of Dragon Ball Super, and I really liked it. I've watched all 9 episodes every week it comes out, and I'm super into it. And so I decided to watch Resurrection F because I hadn't seen it yet, and all my friends told me who have seen it that it's pretty good. And yeah, it was pretty great. I've never really been into Dragon Ball movies because, anime films aren't generally canon to the series, so I was like, I don't know if I want to watch it, but I heard enough cool stuff about it to watch it, and I was like, yep, no, this was great. I love how Vegeta was basically the finishing act, and he should have been, and I feel like he was robbed by Goku. And I really like how do we beat Frieza? Oh, well, because he unlocked this new super form, and he doesn't know how to use it. Whoops. And then after that, I was like, well, I watched this. I might as well watch Battle of the Gods since I'm loving Super, and I'd love to see what it is that made everyone else want another series to come back or start up. So I watched that, and it was awesome. It's also really great that I'm 9 episodes into Super, so I can see, so Super is basically at least the English releases is catching up on all the things that happened in Battle of the Gods. Which I'm assuming is then going to end at some point and then, change into another storyline. But it's just really cool that here was the idea in this film that's now becoming a timeline in the series canon. And, similarities, but definite differences. And I'm really into that. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I've been really enjoying all of that, really. And I really hope this week that my facial and vocal range is a bit more different. One of the things that I changed, and if I need to be looking at the camera, I'm sorry. I found some pictures of friends of mine, and I put them up in front of me, and I'm talking to them, because I can't really perform to myself. It's just really hard. And looking at the camera, it's just like, well, here's obviously not a thing that's happening. But if I look at a friend of mine right here, then they make me smile because they're a friend of mine. And it's like I'm telling you the story, and then the rest of you out there who can see this are basically becoming the substitute for them. So I really hope that it comes across like that, because that's the goal I'm aiming for here. And ideally, I can get this down enough that I can just imagine that without having to see it. Like, that's kind of my visual training. Why, you might be asking yourself, does an actor need to do this? I mean, you're an actor. Isn't that what you're supposed to do? Yes, it is. Only I never did that. I think I had one director who ever really made me think about imagining the stage as its own world, and I never really could. I can blame the autism for that, but honestly, I don't know what it is. I think it's interesting, that I don't do it, since it's something I'm supposed to, and it's something I want to work on, because I want to be a good performer. I want to be a great performer, honestly. Like, just settling for good's not good enough for me. And that's back to Naruto. One of the things that makes me really look up to Rock Lee is, he wasn't born really capable of being a ninja, and yet he trains every day to do it. And so it has me inspired to start doing more for myself, because I've got a lot of books on acting, on voice acting, on vocal dialects, but I don't touch them. I don't read them because I'm usually distracting myself with anything else. And I think that a large part of it has to do with the idea of, well, if I do it and then I fail, then I'm awful. But if I don't do it, and I can't fail at it because I haven't tried. And I need to get over that, because even if I fail, that just gives me an excuse to pick myself up and keep going, I mean, so that's another thing that I'm working on, is I'm working on me and my approach to professionalism. So, yeah, that was Frosty Vlog number 21. I really hope you liked it, because I had a lot of fun this week, and I'm looking forward to another good week. Also, if you read the description of last week's episode, I talked about how excited I was for this one. No, I didn't mean that I knew I was going to have a good week. I was actually, at the time that I uploaded it, thinking about recording a skit for the vlog. But I just sort of decided that this last week was so much fun, I'd rather share what happened with you than try to go with that "what am I doing here" skit that I had planned out. I could still do it in the future. I can make another one, because I'm not opposed to the idea. In fact, I kind of like the idea of recording something with more than just the intent of giving you an update of what's going on with me. But until such a time that I feel I'm ready to do that, I hope this is good enough. Alright. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a great one.